Commander Lisa Grant sat in the control room of Deep Space Listening Post 47. Her fingers moved quickly over the screen as she looked at the strange signal. It had arrived 2 hours ago from the edge of the Orion Arm. The signal was not like anything they had seen before. It was not from any known alien race. It was not natural either. It was something new. Lisa was calm, but her team could feel the tension. They worked quietly, watching her for direction. The signal had a rhythm, like a pattern. It was not just noise. It was a message. "Can we clean it up more?" she asked. "Already working on it, Commander," replied Josh, the signal analyst. He was young, smart, and always serious about his work. "It looks like multiple layers. Some parts are repeating. Others are warnings." Lisa leaned closer to the screen. The message was strange. It had parts written in old alien languages. Some of them had not been used in thousands of years. Each part said the same thing: "Do not go to Earth." Lisa looked around at her crew. "Get me clearance. We need to go out there. I want to find the source." 3 days later, the USV Liberty jumped through hyperspace. The ship was not large, but it was fast and well-equipped. Lisa stood on the bridge, watching the stars stretch and twist during the jump. Her crew included humans and a few alien observers from the Interstellar Council. The aliens were here to learn, but they were also here to make sure Earth followed the rules. "Approaching the signal's origin," said Carla, the navigator, dropping out of hyperspace in 10 seconds. The ship slowed down, and the stars snapped back into place. Ahead of them floated a broken vessel. It was large, shaped like a wide disk, with deep scars across its metal surface. Parts of it were still glowing red from recent damage. "No life signs," said Aaron, the ship's medic. "But there is a working data core. We might be able to pull something." Lisa nodded. "Prepare a small team. I want to go over myself." The boarding team wore light suits and crossed to the derelict ship using a tether. The inside of the ship was dark and cold. Walls were burned. Screens were cracked. Something violent had happened here. They reached the data core room. It was still glowing. Lisa placed her hand on the surface. It was warm. "Start the download," she said. Back on the Liberty, the files began to open. There were hundreds of messages inside. They were written in many alien languages, some from long-dead civilizations. Each message was the same: "Warning, do not go to Earth." Some of the messages told stories. One told of a planet that sent out explorers who never came back. Another spoke of a space station destroyed when a human arrived. One message was just a picture, an old drawing of Earth with a red circle and a line through it. The alien observers looked afraid. One of them, a thin creature with soft gray skin, turned to Lisa. "This is not new," it said. "These messages are very old. Your world has been feared for a long time." Lisa frowned. "But we didn't even leave Earth until 200 years ago. How could they know about us before that?" No one had an answer. Later that night, Lisa sat in her quarters, reading the messages again. She felt a chill. Earth was her home. Her family lived there. But the galaxy seemed to see Earth as something dangerous, something to stay away from. She looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there was the truth. She knew she had to find it. This was only the beginning. She tapped her screen and sent a message to Central Command. "We found something. It's big. I need full clearance to investigate further. Earth is not what we thought." She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. The galaxy had secrets, and Earth was one of the biggest. Daniel Brooks sat in the middle of a hot and dusty dig site. He brushed dirt from a strange stone carving that had been buried for a very long time. Daniel was a young xenoanthropologist, someone who studied ancient alien cultures. He had traveled far to reach these ruins on a dry, dead planet. Most people thought the place was useless, but Daniel believed there was something important here. The carving showed tall creatures with long arms and thin faces. They were not human, but next to them was something shocking: a human figure. A man with short hair, wearing what looked like old Earth armor. The carving was thousands of years old, but humans were not supposed to be in space that long ago. Daniel's heart beat faster. He called to his assistant, Maria. "Come here. Look at this. Tell me that's not a human." Maria bent down and stared at the stone. She was quiet for a moment. "That's a human," she said. "But how? We weren't even traveling in space back then." They took pictures and sent them to the science station orbiting above the planet. Within an hour, Daniel received a message from the Interstellar Council. They wanted to see him right away. Back on Earth, news of the strange carving had not yet reached the public. In the capital, a group of alien diplomats had just landed. They came in peace, but their faces were tight with worry. Their bodyguards stayed close, always watching. The meeting room was quiet as they waited for the Earth diplomats to enter. The aliens came from a race called the Eldari. They were tall, with silver skin and glowing blue eyes. The leader, Counselor Tovin, stood up when Amanda Lewis, the president of Earth, walked in. "We are honored to be here," said Tovin, his voice soft but serious. "We ask only for peace." President Lewis smiled. "Earth also wants peace. We welcome you." Tovin nodded, but he looked nervous. He kept glancing at the windows and the guards. The other Eldari seemed scared. They bowed often and spoke carefully. Amanda noticed it. "You seem tense," she said. "Is something wrong?" Tovin looked around, then leaned in. "Please forgive me. It is not easy for us to be here. Stories about Earth are known across the galaxy. Some of them are frightening." Amanda raised an eyebrow. "Frightening? We're not monsters." "We know that," said Tovin. "But the old stories never went away. They speak of humans who came long ago and brought war. Planets burned. Civilizations ended. Many thought those stories were myths. But now, they are being believed again." At the same time, Daniel arrived at the Council Research Center in orbit. He was shown more carvings found on other planets. They were all the same. They showed humans in places humans were never meant to be. "What does this mean?" Daniel asked. Dr. Nevin, an old alien researcher, replied, "It means your people were here long before anyone thought." And others remembered. "We just didn't believe the memories were true." Daniel felt a strange mix of fear and pride. Somehow, humans had touched the stars long ago. But the galaxy had not forgotten, and they had not forgiven. That night, Daniel looked out of the station window. Earth was a small blue ball below. It looked peaceful, quiet. But now he knew the truth. The galaxy saw Earth as something else. A name whispered with fear. Back on the planet, Maria sent Daniel another message. She had found more carvings. This time, they showed humans standing over fallen alien soldiers. In one, a human held a flag with Earth's symbol. Daniel saved the image and sent it to President Lewis. The message he typed was short. "We were here before. The galaxy remembers." President Lewis read the message in silence. Then she looked up at the stars through her window. She knew things were about to change. Earth's past was coming back, and the galaxy was watching. The USV Liberty floated quietly in deep space. Commander Lisa Grant stood on the bridge, reading a report from the science team. They had finished scanning the data core from the derelict ship. What they found was even stranger than before. "This ship is old," said Josh, the signal analyst. "Very old, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 years. But its memory core is full of warnings, not just about Earth, but about something called the Forgotten War." Lisa looked at him. "I've never heard of that." "None of us have," he said, "but it's in the alien records, and Earth was a part of it." The crew watched as the screen showed images from the data. There were old records, damaged but clear enough to understand. They showed a small human ship arriving in a system filled with life. The system was considered sacred by many alien races. The humans didn't know. They built a base there. A message was sent to them to leave, but it was never answered. Then something happened. An attack. No one could say who fired first, but what followed was fast and deadly. The human ship fought back with powerful weapons. Entire cities were lost. The planet became empty. Lisa sat down, quiet. Why isn't this in our history books? Josh shrugged. Maybe we were never told. Or maybe the records were erased. Aaron, the medic, added, the aliens remember. That's why they fear us. They think we did this on purpose. Lisa leaned back and closed her eyes. She thought of Earth, her people, her family. It was hard to believe humans had done something like that. But the images were real. The messages were clear. The fear was real. In another part of the galaxy, Daniel Brooks stood in the council library. It was a huge place, full of ancient records and books. Alien researchers had helped him find more about the Forgotten War. They showed him old scrolls, broken tablets, and dusty books. Many of these were banned, said Dr. Nevin. But they all say the same thing. Humans came. A war started. Entire races disappeared. Daniel shook his head. We don't even remember any of this. But others do, said Niven. The galaxy remembers. That is why Earth is feared. One scroll showed a human commander giving a strange order. If true, it meant Earth's leaders had known what they were doing. They chose to fight. They chose not to leave the sacred system. Daniel felt cold. He had come here to study history, not become part of it. But now, history was coming to life again. Back on the Liberty, Lisa received a message from Central Command. She was given full clearance to continue the mission. They wanted answers. The crew prepared to visit another old site mentioned in the alien data. It was a small moon that once held a communication tower during the Forgotten War. When they landed, the place was silent and broken. Old machines stood like ghosts in the dust. Inside the control room, they found more data, more records. One file stood out. It was a human voice. This is Captain Neil Carter, Earth Defense Fleet. We were attacked without warning. We answered with force. I regret what happened, but we had no choice. They fired first. We only wanted to explore. Lisa listened to the message twice. Her voice was quiet. He thought they started it. Maybe it was all a mistake. Josh nodded. But the galaxy only remembers the ending. The fire. The loss. As they left the moon, Lisa looked back at the broken tower. So many lives lost. So many lies told. She now understood why the galaxy feared Earth. Not just because of what humans did, but because no one knew what humans were truly capable of. Back on Earth, President Lewis read the latest reports. The Forgotten War was real. It had been covered up. And now, the truth was returning. She looked at the stars and whispered, "What else have we forgotten?" Daniel Brooks sat in a bright, quiet room at the Interstellar Council's Research Center. The walls were white, the lights soft. Around him were experts from many planets. Some had soft green skin. Others had feathers or scales. All of them were here to study one thing: Earth. Dr. Niven spoke first. We have gathered psychological and cultural data about humans. We want to understand why Earth causes fear. Daniel looked around. What have you found? Niven pressed a button, and a large screen lit up. Charts, videos, and reports filled the display. Humans are unique, Niven said. You adapt faster than any other race we know. You survive in extreme places. You learn quickly. And under pressure, you fight harder than expected. Daniel nodded slowly. We have always been survivors. That is not all, said a researcher with dark red eyes. You are unpredictable. Your people show kindness and violence in the same moment. You build peace and make war at the same time. Another alien added, we believe humans were part of a very old experiment, created by an unknown race. But the creators disappeared. Maybe they saw what you could become, and left. Daniel sat back in his chair. The idea was strange, but it made sense in a way. Earth was full of mystery. Humans had changed so fast over time. Maybe they were never meant to grow the way they did. Back on Earth, President Amanda Lewis read the same report. She was in her office alone. The data was clear. Other species followed patterns. They were calm, slow to change. Humans broke every rule. She turned to her advisor, Henry. They think we were made as an experiment. Henry frowned. That's just a theory. But they fear what they don't understand. Amanda stood and walked to the window. The stars above the city looked peaceful, but she knew many of those stars were home to people who feared her planet. Then we must understand ourselves, she said, before the galaxy makes a choice for us. Meanwhile, Lisa Grant and her crew returned to a council base near the edge of the Orion Arm. A message waited for her from Daniel Brooks. Commander Grant, it said, I need to speak with you. The galaxy fears humans not just because of the past, but because of what we might become. I believe we were shaped by something long ago. Something that wanted to see how far we would go. Lisa read the message again. Then she looked out at the stars. She felt the same. The deeper they went into space, the more questions they found. She met Daniel later at the station. They sat in a small room with a view of a gas giant outside. If this is true, Lisa said, then we are more dangerous than we thought. Not because we want war, but because we don't even know our full history. Daniel nodded. The other species have limits. They stop when things are too hard. But humans push forward, even if it breaks something. That scares them. Maybe it should scare us too, Lisa said quietly. Back on Earth, scientists began looking deeper into human DNA. They found patterns that didn't match anything on record. Parts of the code seemed older than Earth itself. Where did it come from? No one could say. The council called for more talks. They wanted to set rules for Earth's future in space. Some members asked if Earth should be isolated until more was known. But others said Earth was needed. Human ideas, energy, and creativity were useful, even if they were also dangerous. Daniel gave a short speech to the council. We don't want to be feared, but we can't change what we are. We want to learn. We want to grow. And we want to do it together. The council was silent. Some looked away. Others nodded slowly. The decision would take time. As Daniel left the chamber, he felt the weight of his world on his shoulders. Earth was more than a planet now. It was a question the galaxy didn't know how to answer. Commander Lisa Grant stood in the war room of the council station. The lights were dim, and a large screen showed the image of a ship moving toward a restricted zone. It was not human. The ship belonged to a race called the Zurians. They were old and proud, and they did not trust humans. What are they doing? Lisa asked. They sent no message, said Carla, her navigator. They're heading to the ruins we just found near the dark cluster. Lisa narrowed her eyes. Those ruins were still under research. They believed the ruins were from the same unknown race that might have made humans. No one was supposed to go there yet. Get the ship ready, she said. We're going after them. The USV Liberty launched within the hour. As they moved through space, Lisa spoke to her crew. We're not here to fight. We want answers. But if the Zurians try to take or hide something, we stop them. The truth belongs to everyone. As they reached the dark cluster, the stars around them dimmed. The sky felt heavier. Strange energy fields moved near the ancient ruins. The Zurian ship hovered above a black stone tower that rose from the dead moon's surface. They've already landed, said Josh. They're inside. Lisa led a small team down. The moon's air was thin, the ground cold. They moved slowly toward the tower. The entrance was open. Inside, strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls. Some looked like Earth languages, but twisted. They found the Zurians in a large chamber. One of them held a glowing cube. He turned as Lisa entered. You should not be here, he said. Neither should you, Lisa answered. This place could hold answers about Earth's past. We should study it together. The Zurian leader, named Varric, stepped forward. You want the truth? Here it is. This place holds the first signs of human creation. Your kind was made here, then released. We believe it was a mistake. Lisa stepped closer. That's not your decision to make. Varek's face was hard. Your people bring change too fast. Fire follows you. War follows you. We also bring hope, Lisa said. We learn. We grow. We help. The cube in Varek's hand glowed brighter. Then it showed an image, an old galaxy map. It marked planets where humans had appeared long ago, before Earth's space age. Somehow, humans had been spread across the stars in the past. This is why they fear you, Varek said. You were everywhere. Then you forgot. And now you rise again. Lisa looked at the map. Her heart beat faster. We need to take this back. The council must see it. Varek held the cube tightly. This truth may start another war. Or it may stop one, Lisa said. Let's find out. Together. Varek looked at her for a long moment. Then he gave her the cube. Back on the Liberty, they studied the data. The cube held memories. It showed images of humans walking with tall alien beings in great cities. Then a war. Then silence. Daniel Brooks arrived later to help. He looked tired, but his eyes were sharp. This proves everything, he said. We were part of something big, something old, and someone wanted us to forget. Lisa nodded. Now we remember. And the galaxy will too. On Earth, President Lewis saw the images. She stood in front of the council via live stream. We now have proof that humans were once across the stars. We were made or guided. We were then forgotten. But we are not a mistake. We are a part of this galaxy, and we will stand with it. Some aliens still looked unsure, but others nodded. The truth was out now, and it could not be hidden again. The council chamber was full. Leaders and experts from across the galaxy had come to hear the report. Daniel Brooks stood in the center of the room, the ancient cube in his hand. Behind him, large screens showed images from the ruins. Humans walking among ancient beings, lost cities, and maps of forgotten space lanes. President Amanda Lewis spoke first. Her voice was calm but firm. This is not just Earth's past. This is the galaxy's past. The truth is, humans were part of something very old. We were spread across the stars before our time, and someone tried to erase that. Some alien leaders still looked afraid. One of them, a tall being with soft blue skin, stood up. If this is true, then Earth is not young. Earth is waking up, and that makes many of us nervous. Daniel stepped forward. I understand your fear, but we are not asking for power. We are asking for peace. We want to know who we were, so we can decide who we want to be. The room was quiet. Then Counselor Tuvin of the Eldari spoke. I once feared Earth, but now I see the truth. You do not bring fear. You bring change. That is harder to accept, but maybe it is needed. After the meeting, Daniel met Lisa Grant in a quiet corner of the station. She was tired. They both were, but they also felt something new. Hope. They listened, Lisa said. Some of them at least. It's a start, Daniel replied. But I think there's more. The ruins showed only part of the story. There must be more out there. Then we find it, Lisa said. Together. They returned to the Liberty and prepared for a new journey. This time, they would follow the old star maps found in the cube. The maps showed paths to places far beyond known space. As the ship moved away from the station, the crew gathered on the bridge. Lisa stood in front of them. We're going further than anyone has gone. This is not just about Earth anymore. This is about everyone. If there's more to this story, we will find it, and we will share it. The journey was long. They passed through quiet sectors and strange regions of space. Some systems were dead. Others had signs of old life, but nothing living now. Finally, they reached a planet marked in the cube's data. It had a strange orbit, hidden behind a gas giant. The surface was covered in silver dust, but under that dust, they found buildings, huge and silent. Inside the main structure, they found something unexpected. A message. It was in many languages, including Old Earth languages. To those who wake, the message said, "We left you across the stars. Not to control, but to test. You are the children of many. You carry our hope. You are not alone." Daniel stared at the words for a long time. This wasn't just a lab, he said. It was a gift. They wanted us to grow, to change, to become more. Lisa looked around. The walls were full of names. Some looked human, others did not. They mixed many races, she said. We are not just Earth. We are pieces of many worlds. The crew stood in silence. The truth was big, bigger than any of them expected. Back on Earth, the message was shared with the people. At first, there was shock, then wonder. People saw themselves in a new way. Not just humans from one planet, but children of the stars. The council met again. This time, the tone was different. The fear was still there, but it was weaker. More leaders spoke of unity, of learning from Earth, not hiding from it. President Lewis gave one last message. We are ready to walk with you, not as rulers, not as strangers, but as part of the same long story. The galaxy watched, and for the first time, many watched with hope. The USV Liberty flew through deep space, far from known stars. Lissa Grant stood at the front window, looking out into the dark. The stars seemed brighter out here. This was the edge of the galaxy, where few had ever gone. Daniel Brooks sat beside her. He held a new message from Earth. The Council had accepted Earth as a full member, not just with rights, but with respect. It's done, Daniel said. We're not feared anymore. Not like before. Lisa nodded slowly. It's not about fear. It's about understanding. The crew had changed too. They no longer saw themselves as explorers from Earth. They saw themselves as part of something bigger. A story that went back before time. A story that was still being written. They landed on a small planet marked on the last piece of the cube's data. The world was quiet and green. Strange birds flew in the sky. Flowers gave off light in the night. In the middle of the planet, they found an old hall. Inside it, there were chairs for many kinds of beings, tall, short, wide, and thin. At the center was a small stone table. On it was a round device, glowing faintly. Daniel touched it. A voice began to speak. To the children of the stars, welcome. You are the result of many dreams. We gave you gifts. We gave you struggle. From struggle comes growth. From growth comes wisdom. Lisa looked at the device. It was very old, but its message was clear. They wanted us to become more, she said, not just strong, but wise. The crew left the hall in silence. Some were smiling. Some were crying. They all felt the same. They had found the truth, not just about Earth, but about themselves. Back on Earth, the news spread fast. People talked in schools, homes, and public halls. For the first time, humans saw their place in the galaxy not with fear, but with pride. President Lewis gave a final speech to the world. We are not alone. We never were. Our history is deep. Our story is long. We are not just from Earth. We are from everywhere. And we will go forward together. In the council hall, alien leaders stood and welcomed Earth again. This time, they clapped. Some even smiled. One leader said, Earth was feared because we did not understand it. Now we see its people carry not just strength, but heart. Lisa and Daniel were honored as peace builders. They did not ask for medals. They did not want power. They only asked for trust. And they got it. Later, on a quiet evening, Lisa stood on a hill on Earth. The sky above was full of stars. She closed her eyes and listened to the wind. Daniel joined her. Do you think they're still out there? The ones who started all this. Lisa opened her eyes. Maybe they're watching. Or maybe they're gone. But what matters is what we do now. Daniel smiled. Then let's keep moving forward, one step at a time. The stars above shone bright, and for the first time in a long time, they did not seem far away. Earth had changed. The galaxy had changed. The fear was fading. In its place was a new feeling. Hope. From ruins and silence, a message had come. From fear and doubt, a truth had grown. And now, from that truth, something new was rising. Not a weapon, not a warning, but a voice. A voice from Earth. A voice that would never be ignored again.